Good evening. I call to order the 818th meeting of the City of Laurel Historic District Commission. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff to the commission, and any consultants used on file with the city are hereby made a part of each and every application heard today. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made a part of each and every application. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Agenda item number 1 is the roll call. Brooke, please call the roll.
Chairman Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Cocoon. Councilmember Les.
Here.
Ms. McSteeny.
Here.
Ms. Lubinecki.
Here.
Ms. Frazier.
Here.
Ms. Rambo.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Agenda item number, we have 2 minutes, 2 set of minutes to approve tonight. So agenda item number 2 are the meeting minutes from November 27th, 2018, the regular HDC meeting. You have a copy of that in your materials. If there's no comments or corrections,
I move we approve the November minutes as presented.
Second.
all right. Brooke, we have a motion to approve from Ms. McSteeny and a second by Ms. Lubinecki.
Ms. McSteeny.
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki.
Yes.
Councilmember Les.
Yes.
Ms. Frazier.
Yes.
Ms. Rambo.
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Agenda item number 3 is the approval of the minutes from the regular HDC meeting held on January 22nd, 2019.
I do have a comment or correction on those.
Okay.
On the house on 4th Street, 313 4th Street, HDC 044 2019. We talked about having the driveway be a solid apron at the street cut, and then 2 strips up to the house, and then solid beyond.
That's correct. We did.
And this says 2 strips, period.
So did you get that, Brooke?
Noted.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, Brooke, did we notify the applicant about the pending concrete work, which will allow them to get their curb cut done a lot cheaper? I brought it up in the council meeting. You might want to mention, get a hold of them, because they're already mobilized here to do work for the city. And our experience has been, it's been relatively inexpensive to have them come do that curb cut, because they're already around the city doing it. They can save some money.
Contact him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Pleasure. Any other comments on the January minutes? Hearing no more comments, I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I make a motion that we approve the January minutes as amended.
Thank you.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Brooke, we have a motion to approve from Ms. Lubinecki and a second from Ms. Frazier.
Ms. Lubinecki.
Yes.
Ms. Frazier.
Yes.
Councilmember Les.
Yes.
Ms. McSteeny.
Abstain.
Ms. Rambo.
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 4, HDC 050-2019 for 217 Main Street. Submitted by Chigozie Bruno Nwogu on behalf of the owner Joy Davis for approval to replace lighted signage on the building front. This is for the old bank building on Main Street. The message will read totally wireless, and I believe we have copies of the sign in our package here. there anyone from Total Wireless here? No. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I know the staff included a copy of the logo here, but I also went online and it was clear to me that there were transparent logo options for this building. Right. There are a lot of other options that would be nowhere near as offensive as this one. And I'm not sure if we can we require them to put in one that meets our standards? I mean, there's ones that are closer, and even just one that's transparent in black and white would be less, just a...
Yeah, I think we can. I
mean, you can. I mean, you can get something just like that. You probably did the same.
I did.
You did images, and there you were.
Yeah. So this was tabled from January, and I don't believe anyone showed then as well, right? So
I spoke with the applicant this morning, and he said he was going to be here today.
Yeah, maybe he thought we were canceled because of the impending weather. But can we table this again? Is that?
Yeah, you can. We
can? Yeah. Because I think this is important because it's just hideous looking. And to get like we did with PNC back in the day, we had them, they wanted a similar thing, and then they did just like the cutout of their logo.
Right, and there are options within the own Total Wireless logo community, basically. Right. So it isn't like it has to be those particular colors, as far as I can figure out. Yeah.
Well, I think we need to table it once again.
Yeah, isn't there a regulation, however, that if we table something it goes a certain period of time that it's approved?
It's like a pocket veto or a pocket approval. I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to over table it, if you know what I mean.
Karen, I think the chairman has latitude to go ahead and table it.
Okay, I just don't want to.
I mean, we have guidelines and we have some legal requirements. However, since the applicant's not here, we can turn it down. But if you turn it down, then they're behind the 8 ball as far as another application. So I think that the prudent thing to do is table it, and hopefully they'll show up for the next meeting.
Yeah, and then we'll just get a little more heavy-handed next month.
Well, I don't think we want to be heavy-handed. I think we want to try and work with the applicant to come to something that's acceptable to the applicant and to the city.
Compared to them not showing up.
I think tabling's right.
Yeah, I think it
course
is.
Of action there.
I think so.
I move we table it.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion from Ms. McSeany to table, second by Ms. Lubinek.
Ms. McSeany?
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki?
Yes.
Councilmember Les?
Yes.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Ms. Rambo?
Yes.
Chairman Hayes?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, I'll ask Brooke to impress upon the applicant when you speak to them that it's imperative they show up for the next meeting, 7 o'clock. Okay, so that we can go ahead and discuss this and do something that's acceptable to the Historic District Commission and that the applicant can work with. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Noted.
Thank you. Agenda item number 5 is HDC 051-2019 for 344 Main Street, submitted by William Grubbs. Request to install 2 frosted window signs with the business logo. Message will read Rise Up Nutrition in red, yellow, and orange color for a new smoothie shop. Is Mr. Grubbs or anyone present from... Oh, please, come forward.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you for coming tonight.
Having me.
As you can see, that doesn't always happen. So.
I did a good job making sure that you're here.
We appreciate it.
Got the reminder call today. I was like, I am right down the street. I will be here.
Excellent.
Okay, so tell us about your new business.
Okay, it's gonna be a healthy smoothie and an energy tea bar, and so like really just promoting like healthy living and healthy active living throughout the community, and just the idea of like just a meal replacement shake that tastes very good, very healthy for you. Think of a complete like 1,200 calorie meal being broke down to 200 calories in a shake. And then energy teas that are good and healthy for you, give you energy boost without the crash, and then also has other health benefits in it as well.
Okay. And this is you're going to put that on both windows on either side of the door.
Correct.
Okay. And that's your logo represented here.
When you say they're frosted, inside the orange square or the whole window?
It'll be the whole window, and then it's going to be the logo on top of it. So so all our products are coming through Herbalife Nutrition, and for us to have a smoothie shop and bar, it has to be a non-transparent window. So it gives because we're all distributors through Herbalife. We just decided to open up a smoothie bar. It's very popular throughout the United States, mainly in the Midwest and in the South. And so we're bringing one to the DMV area. And so per their guidelines, it has to be a frosted window that can't be seen. You can't see what's going on inside. So it doesn't give the distributor a fair advantage over other distributors in the area.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, let me just raise the issue.
Yeah.
I think the police department's going to have trouble with that.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had trouble in the past when somebody wanted to do a whole window because police officers riding by cannot see what's going on inside the business. He's got a gun in there, something going on. So there is a issue when you frost the whole windows so you can't see inside.
Well, the windows don't have to be completely frosted to the point you just can't see anything. They just can't be frosted. They actually have to be frosted so it's just not a clear window. So they just want something that shows that you can look in, but if you just can't see products and stuff and what's going on.
Well, I'm going to raise the issue because I think it is a problem with the police department. I mean, not just for the HDC, but for businesses in general. Okay. I mean, it's come up several times when the discussion was made about how much of the window can you cover with signage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the first issue. I'll just raise, and I don't know how you want to handle it. Second issue, the problem on Main Street has been with the size of the sewer line that go to the street from the businesses. Had several businesses that couldn't open. They leased space for one of them for a year. They had to come up with a heavier sewer line. I mean, is there any requirement here, since you're mixing food product,
Well, go ahead.
that you have a heavy up on the not the sprinkler system, but the sewer system itself? I'll just mention that.
Right.
And almost directly across the street from here, one of them failed. After a year of leasing the space, they could not get a permit from the WSSC. Okay. But again, I just raised that issue, and I'm just pointing it out. I don't want somebody to spend money and then find out that WSSC will not allow a plumber to go ahead and give them the sign off so they get their UNO. In several places on Main Street, they actually had to heavy up the sewer system and the water. I don't know what the water line is into this property. A lot of them were half inch. But the sewer system was a real problem when you're doing things with food inside of different places. But I just mentioned that. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to your point, though. We are not using any food. All of our products are more powder-based than anything. And we already got approved through WSSC.
Oh, excellent.
And we've already gone through the plumbing, the electrician. So
We've already signed off.
Yeah. So we've already submitted that. We've got the state of Maryland. We'll have to go down in Upper Marlboro, and we submitted the plans and everything like that, and that got approved as well. The only hiccup we had was actually the fact that power. It was more so we had enough power going through the building because we have silent blenders and they pull a lot of energy. And so we just got that approved. We just got that signed off on too because they wanted to make sure that we were under 80 something. I don't know. I can't remember
Where's your power coming from?
Well, it's just the outlets because you're pulling power.
I'm asking where's the feed from the power line?
The power lines, from what I was told from the owner of the building, that it has its own meter. There you go.
I understand that, but what pole is it coming? Is it coming
I have no. I would.
off the back, off the alley?
I know that we had an electrician come in, and that we had to make sure that the electrician they have to get that permit okay through the city, and that was green light on our part as well. So we took care of it because we were going to have to put something in at first, but then they found out we were under the wattage, so we're good.
Well, let me just say this. There's about 5 houses on that street that are fed off their own power lines on the alley. They run from the clinic, from the Warren's clinic, down to 4th Street. And and they also feed, I think, PNC and BB&T and a couple of others. And there aren't a lot of transformers on that line. I'm on that line, okay? And so I'm sure the city did their due diligence. When you say the wattage was okay, the wattage for what? The machinery that you're going to run inside the building?
They just want to make sure that the blenders weren't going to be pulling too much power from the building by itself.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything major. It was just the blenders that we're using.
Yeah.
And they found that the blenders were fine because it's going to be 2 blenders, an ice machine, and a refrigerator. So they were like, oh, you're fine. They thought we were going to have something way more high tech. And I was like, no, the most powerful thing in here is going to be this blender.
Last thing, do you have to put bathrooms in?
Yes, there's a bathroom. The only thing the city wanted is to make sure that there was ventilation in the bathroom in the back, since there will be seating and it can only seat up to 10 people. And so we just actually have the contractor come by today, and he's going to get put tomorrow.
So the bathroom would be a co-ed bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. It'd be handicap accessible?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent.
And we made sure the bar is ADA approved.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the salient issue here, which is the frosted was not an issue for me particularly, but perhaps there's room for some compromise here. That I understand your company, Herbalife, is that what you said? Is asking for something, but could both of us live with perhaps frosted to a certain, more like a framed frost?
We're completely fine with that.
You know what I mean? So that there's open kind of around, so that if someone like a policeman was peeking in the building, they could see what was going on, but your average passerby isn't going to, unless they really want to look into it.
Yeah, I'm doing the most. That should be fine. I believe on the diagram, there is room around there. If we need to scale that in some, that's fine too.
Yeah, are there levels of frostedness on glass? I'm not
They
familiar.
didn't really. They just wanted to make sure that the glass had some kind of frost on it. They just wanted it so that, like, per their rules, that if a patron walked by and they looked in the window, would they be able to know that you have Herbalife products, and would they think that the Herbalife products are for sale? And that's a no. So we got approved through them, so that when they look, it's like everything's in bins and everything else like that covered up. And so we got approved the area rep for that too. They just want to make sure that the windows were somewhat covered or something like that.
Okay, so if the Herbalife products are not visible to patrons when they walk in, then they wouldn't be visible from patrons outside either.
Right.
Right?
Well, they still want the windows to have some kind of covering. That's what they said.
Okay.
There's like, as long as there's some kind of covering, you'll be fine. I was like, all right. And they saw the diagram too. They're like, that should be fine.
Right, but we're talking about actually making your frosting part much less. So
How much?
like, I don't know, how wide is the window? The whole window?
I think it's
So that's part of your lease agreement with Herbalife? Your agreement with Herbalife that you have these frosted windows?
Yeah, the windows would be covered or frosted, whatever we wanted to look at. We were going to look at putting curtains up, but then we wanted to make sure that it actually, with the sign on the window, we wanted to make sure it was appealing to people going by.
How about something, just taking the drawing that you did, something where somewhere in this general vicinity, something like, why don't you come up? You can come up. Something like that. You can't possibly see from where I'm talking about. So that there's a pretty good open space all the ways around.
Something like that.
Mr. Chairman, it's more or less like that.
So a clear border.
Gotcha.
A really clear border.
Right, right.
That's a, it's a pretty wide wood, probably about half a foot or a foot almost on each
So I was
side.
thinking about like anywhere from 6 to about 8 to 12 inches. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Because the person coming in that's going to do it is.
I have a question about the door. You're talking about the frosted windows. Is there any glass on the door, in the door?
There's glass on the door, and I don't believe, when I talked to my rep, I don't believe that we had to have that covered.
Oh, good.
And so I was already going to leave that uncovered anyway.
Sure. Save you some
Yeah, I'm not frosting a door.
Right.
That's just too much work.
Well, not only that, but if somebody's coming in and somebody's standing right behind it,
Right.
they can't see them. That's the problem.
Exactly. It's funny. We literally just talked about that today when we were painting. I was like, I'm not frosting the door. We're going to leave that open.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve HDC 051 2019 for 344 Main Street with the modification of the clear frame around it.
I'll second it.
Okay, Brooke, we have a motion to approve with amendment from Ms. Lubinecki and a second from Ms. Rambo.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes?
Ms. Rambo,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. McTheney,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck
Thank
to
you. Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Look forward. When do you anticipate opening?
We were looking at having a soft opening by the second week of March and then a grand opening.
No, nice.
Great.
Wow.
Just as the weather gets warmer, too. Yeah.
Oh, have to, man, because this is giving people a cold shade. Right now, it's not going to be a good look. Appreciate you guys.
Good luck. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Robert's trying to get your attention.
We have 217 Main Street has arrived.
Oh, excellent. Good. Superb. Please come up. Are you Bruno? Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Okay. So, what we're concerned about is the color of the background on the total wireless sign. It's sort of a striking bright blue, and we were wondering if the company had any other type of signage that you could put up there. And we went to the website, Total Wireless website, and looked at. I just did a Total Wireless and in different areas and looked, and they have quite an array of signage available. It's apparently some that don't have any background at all, that are just the letters Total Wireless spelled out. So being in the historic district, the blue tends to be a stark a departure from the rest of the color palette that is known as being historic, especially in Laurel. So what we'd like you to do is to look at replacing those signs, I think there are two of them, with something that is less bright, less...
Like dark colors?
It could be a different color, or you could have, no color at all and just have the sign be the words.
On a white background.
Yeah, or on a white background, that's fine.
Anyway, if I may point out, when before we did a soft opening, and when they gave us the opportunity to choose the signage, most of the signage has similar background color. But the store, whichever signage you choose, it has to have the same colors with the inside of the store. And when we even though most of them had that, except I think I saw one that was a little dark, but it had equally like 3 colors there. So whichever signage, it doesn't just end with the signage. Any signage we choose right now, what it means is that we'll start remodeling and repainting inside the store again. Because it has to match with what is inside. Even though most of the signage also have the same bright colors.
So you're saying the inside of your store is that blue?
Yes, sir.
But even though you can't see that through these dark windows.
The front is glass. That front is glass. If you look inside, I have, maybe in my phone, I'll have pictures of the side.
Unfortunately, our commission is not really concerned with interior colors and things. I mean, that's not in our area of purveyance, so we have no say on that. And so in terms of what we're primarily concerned about is the exterior view. And so while I'm certainly sympathetic that the company, I assume this is Total Wireless, you're like a franchise for Total Wireless, has these requirements, they must run into situations where there are historic districts and HOA or regulations within a community that says, no, those colors are not acceptable for exterior work, even though they don't actually match the interior, I would assume.
Okay. If I may suggest, before a decision will be taken, if I could be given another opportunity to maybe come up with the other alternative, as in colors, so that I'll present it before you, and we can look at them, and if we look after and we see anyone that is not so bright, that we can change it with, there won't be any problem. I'll go with that.
And also, while I think that's probably going to be acceptable. Also, while you're having, if you can have a conversation with the franchisor, to ask, hey, well, what happens to the franchises that go into historic districts? Because we're not the only historic district, and we're not the most restrictive either. You go to a place like Annapolis or Frederick, they have much stronger regulations in their historic districts. So what I'm saying is that they must have seen something like this before, and they must have addressed it.
Okay, I will equally.
So I mean, it wouldn't hurt to check with them,
Right?
That way you can at least get an idea of what they have as well available.
Right, because we think you're not the first person to want to have a sign in an historic district.
Okay.
For this company.
So, but that's your option also sounds good too. So, can you can we fit them in next month? Yeah. Okay. So can you come back and see us next month with that information?
I will.
Right.
Awesome.
And look at if you look at the building, if you're looking at the colors, for example, look at the building's exterior colors, for example, and just as an example for you, the other business, the dress business that's there, and the one right above the doorway, are more of a brown. I mean, they're not the most fabulous signs, but the colors don't glare out at you quite so much. So think in terms of a more muted palette. Does that help you at all?
All right.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Next meeting's the 19th. Next meeting is 19th.
March
19th.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's done. We can sort of take it off tabled, sort of. It's still kind of tabled, I guess.
Semi-table.
Okay, I'm just here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so agenda item number 7 is the tax credit.
What happened to 6?
Or did I skip 6? I did,
Yes.
sorry.
That's the candy.
Thank
guy.
you.
That's the most important one.
Yes, right. So, agenda item number 6, HDC 060-2019 for 356 Main Street, submitted by Charles Begin. Request to install new storefront sign for a new candy store. Message will read Gladley's Candy Kitchen. I believe we have that information. I don't think we have anybody from Gladley's here. You know, I was looking at this picture, and it's like, I presume it's going to go where Sabatelli's salon was.
Right, that was my assumption, yeah.
But that brown is going to sort of blend in with that brick. But that's pretty much up to them.
That's up to them. And
Yeah.
It wouldn't be my first choice, but it's not offensive.
Mr. Chairman, let me suggest, as I've said before, a lot of these this is not a backlit sign. Correct, Brooke? This is not a backlit sign. So I would suggest that go ahead, at the same time we approve signage, so that they don't have to come back to see us. So we go ahead and improve gooseneck light this sign up to 3.
Are there lights actually, if you look at the Sabatelli sign, are those actually lights at the very top of it?
I think they're.
There are already lights installed.
Yeah,
on
they're
the-
not gooseneck.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could certainly use the existing lights.
Yeah, but I'm partial to gooseneck.
Me too, but I don't
because
think.
it must show my age or something.
Right, but I mean, I don't think it should be.
They could use something for now.
He could use the existing lights, or
That's right.
should he wish to change in
Or
the
go with the
future
gooseneck. Up
to
3
goosenecks? How about that?
I agree.
Okay.
And the goosenecks, I think that what we've approved in the past they've been brown in color, so baked on enamel. And we've approved brown in color so they blend with the brick or whatever.
I mean, I actually agree with you with the coloring. I mean, that he may
Yeah,
regret that. But.
Again, it's the lighting that I think that they're gonna desire on their place of business. So,
Right.
Chairman, that's my motion.
I love it.
I'll second it.
All right, Brooke, we have a motion to approve with an amendment for gooseneck lamps up to 3 from Council Member Lesh, and a second by Ms. McSeany.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. McNeely,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Rambo,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Well done. I like that.
Can't wait for that to open.
That was efficient.
Yes, indeed.
Right next to the house.
Right.
Okay, so now on to item number 7, the tax credit for 333 Montgomery Street. This is for siding, wood, and gutters. I think the gutters were they had to be replaced during when she was replacing,
They got damaged.
Yes.
yeah, they got damaged, right, when she was replacing her roof, right. So that's why we had the come after her. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
I move we approve. Oh, well, actually, I have a question first, or a comment. So we have discussed that this is not really a tax credit, as it's
Right.
more of a rebate. However, this form says applies for a credit on the City of Laurel property taxes.
So that's old school, right? That's the way it used to be? Right. All right.
So I'm
we change the
just
form?
No.
saying the form probably needs to be changed, and I don't know if Brooke can do it or if we need to meet and design, talk about it.
I don't think we need to do it. I think that
Okay.
Robert and Brooke have got to talk to Larry about that. There's another change that I've suggested. I'll mention it. There's no time limit on these approvals. And Robert's going to take that up with
I thought there was a year.
it's not on the form, the problem.
Oh.
So Robert's going to take that up with Larry also, our attorney.
Well, then I want to submit one before we get that.
Well, I think there's some legal requirements because we ran across a situation where somebody had something approved in 16 and thought it was still good today.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I don't think at this point there's a
Something
time
at
limit
Mom's
once you have an
house.
approval, right?
I thought the
I believe it's a year, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll have it. We'll have it on the
Yeah.
form.
It'll be on the form so there's no confusion.
Right. That may have been like a a longstanding tradition or something.
Yeah, no, it's written.
Is it?
Written somewhere. We have it in
Okay.
the guidelines.
But
But
I guess we'd also want to change the verbiage there from saying a tax credit request to just a rebate.
I was wondering because I think we weren't we discussing that? I think maybe in the work session we never came up with an idea.
I think Larry can come up with the right answer to that.
Right. I think since it is a rebate now, because it used to be a tax credit, but now it is a physical hit.
Yeah. So
Right.
okay, I'll talk with him to see if we can come up with the actual because I knew we were kind of between where we were going to end up calling that. So all right.
Rebate's fine.
Yeah,
thought you had something
minimally
else.
rebate works.
No.
But if you want to be more descriptive with it, that's fine. Okay, so we were about to
So I move we approve Ms. Peterson's request for her rebate.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve from Ms. McSeany and a second by Ms. Lubinecki.
Ms. McSeany?
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki?
Yes.
Councilmember Les?
Yes.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Ms. Rambo?
Yes.
Chairman Hayes?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, so we have another rebate request for 320 Montgomery Street submitted by James and Suma Penrose for their roof that had been approved 078-2019. Cost was $18,802 and the requested amount is $1,880.20.
I have a question on this one.
Sure.
It seems as if we approved 5 windows, but the receipt is for windows and doors.
Yes, I don't remember doors either.
This is number 8.
Yes.
Well, it says that for replacing the roof and the thing.
Where does it say roof?
Well,
On the number 8 here says
in the
approved.
agenda, but that may.
Oh, roof, yeah.
I know that these guys did replace their roof. So
I don't think that's part of this. There's no receipt.
it may be because it says here 078-2018 over here. It says 078-2019. So I think that may be just an error, but I don't know that it clears up.
This is-
Yeah, we might want to look at the Penroses and see if
Right, because the amount is specific. Yeah, it's the same amount, but there's no roof there.
And I think originally they didn't ask to have the doors approved because they weren't visible from the street.
Okay. The front,
I
obviously
think
not the
you're
front
right.
door.
No.
And they weren't doing the front door.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
I
this
think
is,
it was a back door or a
Okay.
side door.
right here. Well, on the thing it says we can replace five white vinyl windows. Yeah, this is definitely not a roof.
The receipt says windows/doors.
And it does, I mean, I've had a couple tiny windows replaced. It certainly seems like $18,000 is a lot
For 5 windows.
for 5 windows.
They're coded
And
in
even
gold.
a couple of doors. I mean,
I think I would have
seriously.
noticed that.
So
With the angel
I move that we not approve this until this is. I would.
Yeah,
I would move
I
that
feel like we
table
need
this maybe.
clarification.
Yeah.
I think that's correct, Chairman. There's enough discussion here that we need to have some clarification.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
some more clarification.
And a more detailed receipt.
Yeah.
And did they actually replace the roof without approval?
I know he did get roof approval.
Right.
He's been getting approvals throughout the year for
Mhm.
various things.
And
I think he just wrote it wrong on the.
I think we did approve the credit for the roof previously. Or the rebate roof previously. if I remember correctly.
So I think we're going to table this, and if you could just sort of give us clarification about this, and just let me know, and then as long as it's clear that it was actually for a roof, or the amount was changed to be actually 4 windows and a door, just let me know, and I can come and I can sign it as long as everything makes sense.
Okay.
Well, I think it needs to come back to the committee.
It does.
Yes. Okay. So it will be tabled till our next meeting.
Yes. All right. So, agenda item number 8. I'm making a motion to table until we get clarification.
You want a second on that?
Please.
Second on that motion.
Thank you. All right, Brooke. So I have made a motion to table, and Ms. Lubinecki has seconded that motion.
Excuse me, point of order.
Sure.
I don't think the chairman can make a motion.
Don't think?
No.
Actually, I can in certain circumstances.
That's
Oh,
correct,
okay.
but I don't think circumstances exist right now.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table item number 8, the tax credit request for 320 Montgomery Street.
I'll second it.
Right?
I don't know.
It is.
Sort of. So we have a motion to approve from Ms. Lubinecki.
No, a motion to table.
I mean table, sorry.
I'll second.
And
No,
a,
no, Ms.
Oh,
Rambo.
we have a second.
and a second from Ms.
I'm sorry.
Rambo.
I didn't hear Vicky down there.
That's okay. It's a little
Ms.
confusing.
Lubinecki,
Yes.
Ms. Rambo,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. McSeany,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Sorry to be so. All right. Agenda item number 9 is a tax credit rebate for 312 Prince George Street, submitted by Robert Schmidt for replacing siding, wood, and gutters.
Can I add into this? It's actually for the roof, not for the siding and.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's for replacement of a roof. The amount of the cost was $13,097, and the requested amount is $1,309.70.
I move we approve the rebate requested for 312 Prince George Street.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, Brooke, we have a motion to approve from Ms. McSeany and a second from Ms. Lubinecki.
Ms. McSeany,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Rambo,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have a list of staff approvals, which we already know about.
I have just a question on that. Did I understand from reading the email thread we had, Brooke, that for 417 Main Street, they're changing they're going to be coming to us because they want to change from a tin roof to one of the most historic houses in the entire district?
They want to change it to shingles, right?
Did they give a reason?
Cheaper.
Huh.
Cheaper than repairs?
I mean, they're going to come to us next month, I assume. I mean, because they're
This
not.
is a staff approval.
No. The staff approval is not for the roof, correct? There's
No, it's for repair because it's leaking. But for her to change the entire roof to shingles, she has to come back in March.
Right. The staff approval at this point is repair a leaking metal roof. Right. But to do anything else, she's going to have to come back. Does it discourage her?
Yeah. Okay, any other questions about the staff approvals? If I hear none, we can move on to agenda item number 10, new business.
Mr. Chairman, Marge brought up something to me. Talked about Moroni. It reminded me of roofs. Well, Moroni is on top of the, hold on. This is a piece of history in Laurel that most people don't know. The roof on the Mormon temple, the work was done out of Virginia Roofing down on Whiskey Bottom Road. Okay? And it was 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago. And it almost put Virginia Roofing out of business because of the gold leaf. We need to be careful. I mean, they had all their estimators working on that. The reason I know about it is I was in a service station, running a service station. They used to fill their trucks up with gas. And that when we had the first gas crisis. It almost put Virginia Roofing out of business. Closed up the shop here. That's how bad it was. So I'm always, when we talk to people about doing roofs, having been there with tin roof on my house, the porch, the tin roofs on our house cost $16,000 just for the tin. So there are some historic roofs, but the difficulty with those historic roofs, and I sort of, Margie sort of reminded me when she said Moroni, is that there was a roof on 416 Prince George Street, and the house next to that, which is Mike Wall's house, they both had tin roofs on them. They both dated from before the turn of the century. They had pinholes in them. So what they had done was they had painted it with an asbestos paint. It was silver in color. And when we got ready to strip the roof, and we were living at 416 at the time in 76, the company didn't want to do it because of the asbestos. Okay, so we left. We moved out. We sold the house. Next people ripped off the roof. There's a lot of houses in Laurel still have lead paint on the woodwork. There's a whole set of apartments that are currently unoccupied because of lead paint. The Anderson apartments behind the big house. It's the lead paint on the woodwork that's a problem. That's why they had to tell the people to get out, because they were on an order to do that. But we need to be careful when we talk about, and I agree, there's some tin roofs that have been well maintained. They've been painted every few years with, I don't know what they're using, if there's some kind of red lead paint, I guess. I don't know. We need to be careful. Huh?
It's not lead. There's an excellent roof paint called showerproof.
Yeah, the problem that I had when we looked at painting our roof 50 years ago was they had to strip everything off the existing roof and patch the pinhole. And that was the problem, that the company that we were going to hire did not want to strip the asbestos off. Okay? Now, I know across the street, Brian, and I think Brian got a rebate for painting his roof, if I remember correctly. Or Kathy Bond, that had asbestos in it. Okay, and I don't know what they did, but they did it, they painted it.
They could have just left it contained and painted over.
Well, you can't even do that anymore. For example, the apartments, that's why they had to push everybody out of the apartments.
Well, on the interior, but the same for roofs?
I don't know. There's a lot of new restrictions about asbestos. But again, there's still several tin roofs left in Laurel. We've got one tin roof that was completely replaced in the 400 block. What's her name's house? Laurel PTA. Can't remember her name.
Oh.
Yeah.
400 block of Prince George or Montgomery?
4th Street.
Oh, yeah, Charlie's parent. I can't remember his name.
They
had two little kids, yeah.
But they replaced the whole tin roof. And she spent a lot of money doing that. They spent a lot of money. And hopefully we'll get people to buy these houses that can, in fact, replace those tin roofs.
Well, this particular house is actually, the one that we're talking about is actually featured in that iconic Sadler photo of the Emancipation Day Parade.
Right.
That's the house.
I'm familiar with it.
So that it makes it, in many ways, a more significant house, because we know that it's been there for at least 115 years at this point.
Right.
So I think that's one of, I assume it's a contributing.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
That's all. That was just my point.
Yeah, and let me just there. Are we also concerned about the walkway up to the house?
Right, but we've already approved the walkway.
I'm not so sure that, in thinking about, I don't know what it looked like.
I tried to look I did actually take a look at the picture, and I couldn't tell what the material was. It could have been it could have been a wooden walkway, for all we know.
It looked to me like
what was the year of the house?
It probably would have been brick.
Yeah.
What was the year of the house?
Well, I'm saying it's at least 115 years old.
Okay,
based on the time of the Sadler photo.
Probably the
according to what Bertha Disney told me, God rest her soul, she's been gone 20 years now, they were not selling ready mix yet. The trucks didn't come. So what you had to do is, if you're going to put concrete up with stone, you actually mixed it on site. And when I looked at that picture, I could not tell whether that was actually concrete or was something else.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Okay. Who owns that house now, bro?
I forget her name, but she's turning it into a yoga studio.
Turning it into what?
Yoga studio.
The whole building?
Yoga.
Huh? That's right. Interesting.
Well, actually, I think she might be living upstairs, and then the downstairs would be a yoga studio.
Were you able to share with her the picture that she could see that?
Yes, I did. She said thank you.
That's interesting.
Huh. Good. A nice use for the building.
Well, I hope she's successful there.
One can only hope.
Thank you, Brooke. I've said enough about roofs.
I think we've all had our fill of roofs tonight. And then on March 13th, we're having a joint work session with the Prince George's County Historic Preservation Commission. And we'll have that at St. Philip's Wyatt Hall. The PG County contingent they're bringing refreshments.
Well, I'm sorry I can't be there.
Sorry, you can't either. I know Vicky can't either. But this is like they wanted to meet with us and just get Laurel's take on things. And I don't know that we're gonna do anything but share information, really. But that always leads to good things. So that'll happen March 16th, and I'll be sending out an email to everyone.
Excuse me, 13th or 16th?
I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday, March 13th.
Okay.
Okay, any other new business?
Robert, are you and Brooke going to be there? Okay.
Will we be addressing at some point again the non-compliance issue that keeps
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a work session where I'm working on that ordinance thing right now, and we have our internal work we'll deal with. Just trying to get the calendar free. Okay. I think we can adjourn.
Okay, I move we adjourn.
Thank you. Microphone's off.